What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Harmon. I'm here with another video. I've decided I made a decision. Sundays quiz day. Yeah. So the thing about it is that this channel is probably gonna be a hybrid of whatever I post. I'm not gonna make multiple channels on multiple subjects. Like I'm not gonna make a gaming channel, a political channel. Right now I'm on the stage of just learning about politics because I might be a politician. But I'm definitely gonna post gameplay videos. When that is, I have no idea, but who knows? The Zero Chip from Madden is coming up soon, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna take a what political party do I view? I kept on saying I was a conservative. I keep saying I'm a conservative. All of my political parties. But let's see if I'm a rhino. I don't think I'm a rhino, but let's see. So, first question: what is your view on abortion? Okay, what's your view on abortion? I think I'm pro-life. Yeah, I'm obviously just pro-life because I think that babies shouldn't be killed for something. I think in my opinion, the rape and incest ones, I feel like if the incest was consensual, then the baby has to be kept or adopted. In terms of the rape ones, I think maybe adopted, but I'm more lenient. But I don't mind abortions once it comes to maybe rape, but I say mostly adoptions. But I think abortion is fine, but it matters of when a human life starts. Like if it's the first week, then like you can abort it because it's not human yet. It's just a clump of cells. But like I feel like when there's a heartbeat, a brain, then that's when it's a human. So we gotta draw the line between what's just a clump of cells and what makes a human. What is your views on healthcare, universal healthcare? Healthcare is actually a question. I feel like universal healthcare. Well, universal healthcare is Obamacare, and that's been a disaster. It's actually been you actually now healthcare is getting prices. Government should stay out of healthcare. The government is such a mess up. I'm just gonna say government should stay out of healthcare. What is your views on environmental protection agencies? Big government agency wasting taxpayer money. Um, More government overreach into personal freedoms, a vital agency that has the power to protect our environment. In my opinion, I think global warming. And this is my opinion, by the way. All of these are my opinions. I know not everyone's going to agree with me. This most likely going to be someone who disagrees with me. I think global warming's a myth. I think global warming might be a myth. I'm more on because in history, according to science, there's been a global warming, and then there's been ice age. Then there's been global warming. There's been an ice age, and now we're in the hot age. But I do feel like it's way hotter than it was previously because of industries and manufacturing. But I'm not I don't I'm just not the biggest Green Party fan. I'm not Ralph Nader. I feel like it's just wasting government money, just wasting. What are your views on gays in the military? To be honest, I don't care. I don't care. The humans at the end of the day. As a conservative, this is probably one of my only liberal views in that I'm totally supportive of the LGBT community because the fact of the matter is that I don't like how conservatives or liberals like to play this LGBT and religion because conservatives are always like, I'm not supportive of gays, but you have to be supportive of my religion. And LGBT is like, oh, you have to be supportive of gays, but I'm not going to support your religion. I think, in my opinion, sexuality and religion are both equally as important as the person you are. So I religious tolerance and LGBT tolerance, I totally stand for both. So sexual orientation, none of the governors. We should be grateful and supportive for anyone regardless who is willing to serve. Yep. Yep. Have an equal right to serve their country. Sexual orientation is not the government's business. We should be grateful and supportive if anyone, regardless of sexual orientation, is willing to serve. To be honest, all three of those are just the same answer. Well, these are the same answers. What's your views on immigration? Well, my views on immigration is those who have liked to participate in our country should be welcomed with open arms. If you're peaceful, come on in. We need immigration reform that makes the path to citizenship easier while we must protect our borders. So I actually have two answers. In my opinion, first of all, we do need border security. We 100% need border security. According to CNN, a very liberal bias, they say 17% of illegal immigrants, commit crime. I'm supportive of an immigrant that gets in this country and doesn't commit a crime, gets a job, but like I'm not the biggest fan of immigration. I just don't like illegal immigration because it's like if came in your house, if someone came in your house, like a burglar came into your house, you wouldn't want them out of your house, right? You want them out of your house and like they steal food and stuff. You don't want them to steal food. It's like illegal immigrants. They illegally came into your house, so you want them out of your house. So I don't know why people. So that's my analogy of immigration. Like you don't want that burglar in your house because they didn't ask. They didn't ask, so you wouldn't want them out. So it's like illegal immigrants. They didn't ask, so you would want them out. But if they're peaceful, then yeah. If they're peaceful in the United States, because you could be a nice guy, and you could be a nice guy and just snap, or a nice person and just snap. So I say protect our borders. Doesn't matter what the history was in the country. If they're peaceful in the United States as a person living in the United States, then just keep it. If they have a job, doesn't commit crime, then you know what, they can keep. What's the right size of government for you? As little government as possible. I feel like there should be some government, but I prefer smaller government. The government is just the government has to step in on any and everything, like marriage, like the government just wants to step in on everything and ruins a lot of stuff. What's my views on taxes? I'm willing to pay taxes for programs I work. I want lower taxes and less government programs. I'm okay with paying more taxes. No. Um, yeah, this is a little tough, but I do think the best way to grow an economy is growing jobs. The unemployment rate is going to go up by more government programs. I'm willing to. I want less taxes, but more government programs because I feel like less taxes. There's no reason for a person to work 40 hours a week just for most of the hard-earned money just to go to be paid in taxes. So I want lower taxes. I don't know really. I want lower taxes and more government programs. I don't mind the government paying the taxpayers' monies for governments. I'm willing to pay tax for programs that work. But I want lower taxes, so I want lower taxes, put more programs. What's your views on education? Uh, we should reward teachers who are successful. Well, yeah, I hope that shouldn't be a plan. That's a need. If if there's a bad person in the world, arrest. If there's a person that commits a crime, arrest them. If they're not, then don't arrest them. That should not be. That should be an obvious view that all parties could agree. We need to reward teachers saying, "Good job, you keep your job," and penalize them saying you're fired. I do think we need to increase funding for education. I definitely think so. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the younger generation is going to be more knowledgeable, in my opinion, in terms of fitting in because of the technology. So we need. I think education is definitely a need because because who knows, education can definitely sway someone's jobs. Like maybe if you teach a student they can about economy, maybe they want to be a business person. Who knows? Where do I get my news? Uh, I don't watch TV. Definitely not late night comedy shows. Definitely not. Um, Infowars. What's an info war? I have no idea what an info wars are. So it's fake news. I I get it from. I mainly get it from like the Daily Wire, but and also maybe Fox News. Tucker. So yeah, I don't really watch that much Fox News. I don't watch TV at all. But the one of the only political I watch Ben Shapiro. That's where I get my news from. Ben Shapiro, and of course online. What are your views on Planned Parenthood, another government-funded waste of taxpayer money? I don't agree with the fact that they provide abortions. Yeah, if they provide they provide abortions. Yeah, if they provide abortions, then I don't like that. Then actually, let's look up Planned Parenthood. Yeah, so it's a healthcare for pregnant women. Um, you know what? Yeah, it's a good service. I like Planned Parenthood. It's not too bad. But if they provide abortions, then I definitely don't agree with the provide abortions. But everything about it seems cool. Get health care for a pregnant woman. Definitely that's cool. What are your views on equal pay for women? Again, obviously equal pay for women, equal pay for all sexualities. There's only two genders. There's only two genders in the world. By the way, we must guarantee equal pay and what's your views on equal pay for women? The government has no place in this discussion if that's what the market provides, and important issues that need to be addressed. To be honest, I'm totally down for equal pay, but guess what? There is equal pay in the world, and for anyone who says that women get paid less equal than men, that's just incorrect. Because I mean, let's face it, men work longer, women ask for vacations longer, women ask for raises more often. Well, men ask for more raises often. Women take more vacations than men, and yeah, so those three things definitely contribute. But it's totally not biased in my opinion. I think that men and women are equal in this society that we face right now. In my opinion, here in America. So yeah, of course we gotta guarantee equal pay, but like there's already equal pay in the world, so I don't know how to decide between these four issues when there's already equal pay in the world. So so yeah, it's equal. There's equal pay. It's equal pay. So yeah, how do you feel about raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour? Um, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I, I want to see it be tried because I really think that it definitely, with the lower taxes. I'm staying for lower taxes, so it's definitely gonna make people happy. But who knows? It might be an economic crash, or maybe with $15 an hour, whoever tries it raise taxes. I don't know. I kind of want to see it be tried. Most of these have been tried before. Um, this is a tough question. I definitely think I want to see it be done first. I don't mind it, but I think it might have a economic crash potentially. I think there could be a economic crash. Um, uh, I don't know. The current minimum wage is too low. It needs to be addressed. I do think it's too low, but 50, that's double it. I'm pretty sure it's 750 in real life. I maybe like $10, maybe $10. First of all, I know preventing. Yeah, what? I think this could have a bad influence on businesses because like especially with COVID now, I don't think it should be $15 an hour. Definitely maybe 10, definitely maybe 10, but for the small businesses, definitely that's not going to be good, especially because of COVID. How do you feel about military spending? Um, Military spending should be a top priority. Yeah, military should be our top priority. It should definitely be one of the top priority, but the number one priority. Yeah, I say it's our top priority. I'm in favor of higher spending for the military because I want to defend this country because there's a lot of wars, there could be wars going on, and we definitely need to prepare for war or battles. What is your views on the criminal justice system? The criminal justice system is flawed. There's a racial bias. Maybe it's a racial bias, but I don't know. I don't think there really is a racial bias when it comes to the statistics. There's definitely people who haven't committed crimes are in jail, but I don't think it's because I don't think the reason why they are in jail is because of the race. It's just because maybe somebody didn't do the research enough. Um, Far too many. To be honest, there's not really an answer that I really want because it's flawed and exhibits a racial bias. I don't think so. We have become too lax in our criminal system. To be honest, no. I mean, once it comes to California, then they are definitely too harsh. I don't think too lax because there's literally like people who want drugs to be not penalized. Okay, so it's definitely harsh. So I don't think it's become too lax. Like drug offenses should be eliminated. Disagree. We jail far too many of our citizens. We need to engage in significant. I don't think I don't. I got it. I disagree with all of these. To be honest, I'm just gonna say. There's a lot of people that are in jail that didn't commit the crime, but I don't think it's a racial bias. I, I there need to be more answer choices or hit an other button because I don't agree with any of these. I just think it could be better. It could definitely be better, but not significantly better. What's your views on marijuana legalization? Um, we need to continue the war on drugs. No, no, that was a disaster. That tarnishes reputations. It's up to the states to decide. Decriminalize drug use and remove the funding for the war on drugs. To be honest, there should be other, but I don't agree with any of these. We need to continue the war on drugs. War on drugs, not really. It is because marijuana has been proven to be a stage one means it's not as dangerous as cocaine and stuff like that. But there definitely needs to be a penalty for. It's up to the states to decide. This is probably the best one. In my opinion, medical marijuana should be legal, but yeah, we can up to the states to decide. Maybe Congress. Should the government maybe act to global warming, stay out of it, and let private industry do what it? It's definitely shown that humans are the cause of global warming. Um, Possibly the humans are the cause of global warming. We should continue to provide subsidies to companies who are investing. We should make a government priority Uh no, definitely not a priority. Stay out of it and let private industry do what it will. Stay out of it. I don't think completely stay out of it. Of course you want your environment to be better. Like that's an obvious thing. But like I don't think it's that serious as people say it is. Definitely provide money to it because want the environment to be better. But I'm just gonna say again, this is like an other. Not really the big fan of this quiz because there should be an other button. Means like. In my opinion, they should definitely fund it, but not as much. I think it's an overreaction. So over. What's your views on income tax? Less government. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. The income tax is government tax, and I don't like the government. So less income tax means less government. Yeah. So, what's your views on international trade? We need to continue to develop deals with countries who agree to play by the same rules. Free trade is a meaningless unless major capitalist buildings are removed. No, I believe in. I think I believe in free trade. I believe in free trade. That's probably a liberal view, but I believe in free trade. I don't feel like there should be a penalty for trading. You know, this, international trade agreements must be fair to our interests. To be honest, no, because if we finesse a country, then we finesse a country. We need to continue to develop deals with the same country to agree by the same rules. Maybe, but I believe in free trade. Where do you think the bulk of the government's decisions should be made? What do you think the bulk? In my opinion, I think the federal government is kind of pointless. I'm not saying abolish it, but I'm saying less government, federal government. I think the state government is more important than the federal government. I'm pretty sure individual government is a tyranny or bureaucracy. No, it's an anarchy. Anarchy means no government. But I think individual government means the people rule is bureaucracy or I don't know. What's your views on social security? It's a even though it's technically not a capitalist idea, which I'm a capitalist. It's fine. It gives people money, so dude, I fully support and think we have a duty to care for the elderly in our country. The system's not sustainable and deep cuts need to be made. Retirement's not something the government should be involved in. Um, I fully support it. Yeah, yeah, we have elderly are just like us. I support Planned Parenthood, except for abortions, because it helps before pre babies. So do the same for elderlies. What's your views on providing bailouts for corporations deemed too big to fail? Uh, Bailouts were probably necessary, but the banks need to be free. Government should in no way be involved in bailing out corporations or banks. To be honest, I don't care about the big banks. The national bank, I just don't know that much about economy as I should. I'm just not. I just don't know that much about economy. I'm more in terms of like what's going on in the world in terms of like COVID and racial injustice, um, views. The riots, the lootings, and all that type of stuff. What's going on in 2020, pretty much. Um, so in terms of the economy, I probably should know more about this, but I know some things, but not what I should be capable. What I should know if I, in terms of political channels. In terms of a national bank, I looked up the pros and cons of a national bank, and I do think there's going to be a bad precedent in this world. And national banks, if a national bank happens, then like, what if it fails? Then that's going to be terrible. If there's a bad precedent in terms of economy, then the national bank is not going to be good. So I'm just not the biggest fan of a national bank. So government in no way should be involved in bailing out corporations or banks. I feel like they shouldn't be bailing out. I don't believe in bailing out. Or if they bail out big corporations, then they should definitely bail out small corporations. But I don't know about bailing things out, people out. You shouldn't bail out someone because what they did was bad. What's your views on unions? Unions are on their own are great. It becomes a problem when the government gets involved. Unions are killing our competitiveness in the markets. I support unions in any organizations. Um, Unions are on their own are great. Well, let's look at the unions. Unions, economics. Some economists compared them. I'm not totally bad about unions. I just don't know that much about unions, to be honest. Again, this economy, I'm just not really the best at in terms of economy. Um, I support unions in any organization that organizers support. Um, to be honest, unions, I don't support unions that much. Then, I support a cause, but what if I disagree with the cause? Then that's not when it gets good. Um, um, I just don't know that much about unions, but I think unions when it's something that I agree with that they're staying up for, then it's fine. I don't think it's great all the time. I don't know. So the government may be involved in providing energy subsidies. We should actually just outright fund renewable energies. No way be involved. We definitely need to give support to companies investing in renewable energies. We should actually be providing subsidies to co-workers. I'm totally fine with, keeping these coals energies. I know it's bad for the wood because for again, as someone who doesn't believe in global warming as much as others, I definitely think that coal, if we get rid of the oil, if we get rid of the coal industry, guess what? That's a lot of jobs. So, I'm providing. I'm providing for those coal. I'm providing for those coal West Virginia workers because again, I don't want their jobs to be lost for something that I personally don't believe in. What's your views on the Dakota Access Pipeline? We should be investing completely in renewable energy instead of polluting Native American land. I'm against any form of eminent domain activities by the government. The pipeline is a fire expert. I stand with people. Again, we should be investing completely instead of polluting Native American land. Well, first of all, the Native American land definitely disagree with. It's maybe Native Americans' land, but the ones that did all the work to help build this country. I'm against any form of eminent domain activities by the government. The pipeline is the final aspect. Well, first of all, let's look at the Dakota Access Pipeline. Well, let's look at it. It's a pipeline. It begins in the shale. Yeah, so it's where oil is. I'm totally fine with that. Um, yeah, sure. I'm totally fine with oil being transported through multiple states, why not? What's your views on gay marriage? I support the LGBT and declare that our human rights. Marriage is the only between a man and woman. I fully support gay marriage and I'm against any law that discriminates the government. Perfect. Now, now, I have two answers for this. I have two answers. I support the LGBT. I I fully support LGBT, and I'm continuing a law that discriminates the community. I agree with that law, but I think the government has no role in marriage. I feel like the government should have no role in marriage. What is your views on the Patriot Act? We should abolish the NCIA, FBI completely. No. Is our vision of the rights as private citizens? Of course. George W. Bush created that law, and it was like the government has a right to spy on you, which, I just don't think. I think, in my opinion, even though I'm a Republican, I'm just not the biggest fan of George W. Bush's presidency. I think he did things based on fear than knowledge. I do respect him for, he did care about 9/11, of course, but I don't think how he handled 9/11 was specifically the wasn't exactly the best thing in the world to do. I think he did it on fear instead of like knowledge and stuff, so yeah, so I don't like the government spying on us. Was What are your views on money in politics? Money is speech, and people or corporations should be able to spend it as they see. I'm not concerned with money in politics. As we're not country, we need to get money out of politics. Money in politics needs to. I'm not concerned with it because the money in politics, it depends what it's used on. If money in politics is used on organizations that I don't agree with, then I'm not going to be standing for that. But if money is used if money is used for organizations that I do like, then yeah. If it's totally legal and it's something I agree with, I like it. If it's illegal and something I don't agree with, then I just don't like it. But yeah, money is speech, and people or corporations should be able to spend it as they see fit. Yeah, sure. If they think that's right, then do it. What's your thoughts on gerrymandering? Um, it's definitely not a huge problem. I mean, putting your districts more. I mean, first of all, Gary. Um, expanding your districts to make it more. Um, I don't know. It's definitely something bad to do. Gerrymandering is not good because you purposely you purposely increased your land and what you rule, and that's not fair to others. It definitely must be stopped. It makes numbers in the favor. It definitely must be stopped. But it's not a huge problem though. It's not a huge problem. It's a problem that needs to be fixed, but it's not a huge problem in my opinion. And what is my computer doing? Okay. Alright. What's your views on voter suppression? It's appalling abuse of power to take away the voice from the people. It is the discriminancy practice aimed at producing democratic turnout. Is not voter suppression to ensure. First of all, it's voter suppression again. Is a strategy to use the influence of outcome of election by discouraging and preventing specific groups to vote. Oh, then I totally don't like it. It's totally bad. Like, oh, you're a Democrat? Oh, I'm not gonna let you vote. Oh, you're a Republican? I'm not gonna let you vote. It's totally terrible to say, oh yeah, you support this group, so you can't vote. That's totally terrible. Totally agree with that. What's your views on the implemented action? I totally probably just butchered that spelling. In the context of allocations of resources, the practice of policy of favoring individuals belonging to groups who have been known to discriminate against previously. So it's someone who's been discreet, it's been effective and necessary policy that's helped discriminate populations. The government should have no role in social policy. Again, the less the government steps in, the better. I got Republican Party. That makes sense. You are a Republican. Thank you, I know. To be honest, you are a Republican, you believe in small government. I do. You believe that individuals responsible for their own care and well-being. I agree. I feel like healthcare for all is just not a good idea because not everyone should earn healthcare for all. I feel like healthcare is learned by paying it your own. I don't feel like the government should provide healthcare because you've seen that with Barack Obama, and that's been a disaster. It's actually increased prices. You are conservative. Yes, I am on social issues and believe in traditional marriage and pro. Okay, again. So this describes me, except for a couple things. You seek belief in traditional marriage. I believe that a man and a man. Okay. I believe that a man and a woman should totally get married. I believe that how Democrats and Republicans are. I just don't like the both of them in terms of it because Republicans are like, I don't support gay marriage, but you have to support my religion, and Democrats are like, you have to support gay marriage, but I'm not gonna support your religion. So both of them, I just don't like. And yes, I do. I already said it before. So you seek to limit legislation that protects corporate and personal freedoms. You support lower taxes. I do. And overall reduction of government involvement in your personal life. Totally agree. You seek to limit legislation that curtails corporate and personal freedoms. Perfect. Yep. What's that word again? Perfect. Yep. Totally agree. Yeah. So yeah, this describes me except for thing. I do believe in a man and a man and a woman. And a woman should totally get married. I support that. But I feel like the government should not step in on marriage. Okay, the government steps on everything. It shouldn't step in terms of marriage. Um, but yeah. So sorry. I need to be more involved politically once it comes to economy. I really, because there was some things that I didn't even know what was going to be said, but that does prove that I didn't take this quiz before and already knew what I got. That means this is the first time viewing this quiz, and you could tell because I didn't know what stuff was. But yeah, so I need to be more involved with the economy. But yeah, see what you got. Do you think I'm a rhino? I hope not. Oh, nah. There's some things that maybe will change my views. Everything that I knew about, I'm not changing my views on. But in terms of the stuff I just learned right now, then maybe if I do more research. Anyways, guys, let me know if you got this quiz. I'll put in the link in the description. Anyways, guys, have a good day.